Welcome to the studio, our festival favourite, Patrick Monahan.
Thank you very much for having me. I always love coming here. This is part of my calendar and diary every year. I've got to come in and see you, come and see the guys every day. I think it's lovely down here. It's like a secret little hidden basement here, isn't it? It's fantastic.
The best part is, Patrick, I don't even have to ask you a question. I could just welcome Patrick and you're off for 20 minutes chatting away.
Me? For 20 minutes? It took 18 minutes hugging. Why don't we just chat for 2 minutes?
Well, actually, I read this and I didn't know this last year when I interviewed you. I'm right in saying you hold the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest hug ever.
25 hours and 25 minutes. And I can't believe I never told you about this. So what happened was obviously, at the end of every show, I used to hug people, or people used to hug me during the shows. I'm like you, we're very tactile. And I remember Bob Slater, lovely lad. He's a comedian that does a show. Have you ever seen Bob? He's Blunderbuss. Yeah. He's lovely, Bob. He's absolutely bonkers. And he said to me, look, he said, I know that you like all this hugging and stuff. And he said, I've seen this thing where they got a couple of people in St Pancras in London, in the station had done the record. They hugged together for 24 hours, and he said, look, we can beat that, because he knows how much you like to. I said, yeah, that'd be easy. But these people who were hugging were couples, so it was like husband and wife. They brought people together like that. So I thought, okay, me and Bob, if you've never seen him, he's sort of like, he's a lovely, very cuddly guy. He's like a bear with a big beard.
You'd want to hug him. He's the kind of guy you'd want to hug.
He's quite nice, but after about 20 minutes, you're probably like, do you know what, this is probably enough. And then, but for 24 hours. So I thought, we'll do it for 24 hours. And Bob was a bit naughty because the night before he went out for a drink and a curry, and he reckoned that people had spiked his drink with, I can't say what it was, but like a blue pill. And he's saying that, so obviously he was saying that he was like, and it was all these stuff. So his beard was full of curry, his breath was still in a stinking drink. Yeah, and all that. And he was literally hugging it. So it was quite fun. And then it was only meant to do 24 hours and a minute. And then he met me on the 9 o'clock. As soon as my show finished, we hugged each other. People came and joined us if they wanted to. We went around town, and then the next day, as we're still hugging, we had to do everything together. We had to go for a wee together. Luckily, we didn't have to do a number two because you weren't really eating much. I mean, if you wanted to eat, I just had to lick his beard and just get a bit of tikka masala off it. But there was you didn't really. It's funny because when you hug someone, it is funny because you don't really need to eat and drink because you get the energy from them. You sort of give each other energy, and it's a true fact. I think if you hug, you have to hug people 4 times a day for basic survival. Everyone has to do that. 8 times a day is for maintenance. 12 times a day is for like growth. 20 times a day is just if you're greedy, or 30 times a day if you're me. And I think with Bob we were hugging, and it was great because after a while you get used to it and you get into it, and then at the end of so the next day, literally the clock's going 24 hours, and then we went back to his venue, and there was a crowd of people outside because obviously we've been telling people going around town, social media, and there was a queue of people, about 50 people, 60 people, and also Kate Copstick, one of the critics, was there. They're all queued up, so they came in and he put a show on, and me and him, and they said, right, we're going to unveil this hug in the middle of it all. It was like literally, it was packed. It was like a little Fringe venue, and I thought, so me and Bob were there messing about, telling everyone about the stories, what we've been up to, and then about 25 hours and 25 minutes, and it wasn't even meant to be that long. Kate Copstick and one of the critics and someone else was just shouting, all right, you know that you broke the record by over an hour and 25. So then they came up, and then they just separated us, pulled us apart like that in front of the stage, and it was great.
That is such a great story.
Oh, it was lovely. It was one of them things you'll always remember. You'll tell your grandkids, you'll be like, oh, I hugged a man for 25 hours and 25 minutes, and then I'll show them a picture of the man, and they'll go, him? They'll be terrified.
But now that you're kind of not necessarily known for just that, but now that is such a wonderful story, now I'm kind of frightened to hug you, or also to do the handshake thing. Remember the guy, the comedian who would pop up on the red carpet and he would shake your hand but wouldn't let go?
Shake your hand, man. Shake your hand. That's the one where they hold your hand. Yeah.
Shake your hand. But you're going to do that next. I just think you're always thinking ahead, like what you can do next.
I'm thinking about, there's loads of things you could do. Spooning, that's one of the things that me and my missus were thinking about doing. Well, doing a dating show for 3 days while we're up at the festival, and we're trying to organise a massive spooning event as well. So get all couples, you and your fella should come down. It'd be lovely like that. And we're thinking about doing something like that'd be quite nice, getting people together. And
what could we call it then? So it would be unique to the festival.
It would be the National Spoon Off.
The National Spoon Off. That sounds really dodgy. It just sounds too dodgy. Please come to the National Spoon Off.
Come and have a spoon. You will not believe the amount of people that don't know what spooning is. It's shocking.
We can't show this on radio, but we can maybe for the video later on. We could do like an outtake or something to show what spooning is.
We will do an outtake. We will all be spooning later on.
Your missus is here, so so it's okay. We're
She's
talking
here.
about. She's
She's
not
gonna-
jealous in any way.
She's actually getting ready. She's spooning two of the techs and the sound technicians and the producers. Come away, Lily. Get off that spoon. Can you keep an eye on her, Jenny? Keep an eye on her.
Tell us about the show, Gilded Balloon, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock every night. So it's called Rewind Selector 90s. So every year I come up with a brand new stand-up show. They're very loosely themed. I mean, you'll get, sometimes the great thing about this festival is sometimes you get a comic will come with a great theme and they go, oh, this happened to me, it was a life-changing thing, this and this, and then they tell you a story with a beginning, middle and end. And I don't mind that. I think that's great, but I'm literally just, I've been coming for years, so I always like to do stand-up, do stories about what's been happening. I like to keep it current, so what's happened to me in the last year, and then I always dip into my background about my life growing up, and then do shows like that. And the last 3 shows have been very, very much more structured, because I was working with Phil Nichol, who's great. He's a great comic. He was directing the show, so we did like the 70s show, which is all about my parents meeting, having the kids. Then I did the 80s show last year, which was about my family, because my dad's Irish and my mum's Iranian. They met in Iran, and it was all about them. They had the kids out there, then them coming to Britain. This year it's all about the 90s, growing up as a teenager, and it is good because it's very relevant, because it talks about all teenagers today, and then talking about like what it was like for us as a teenager in the 90s. It was great because we didn't have your broadband, we didn't have your Instagram, we didn't have Snapchat, but we did have, what we did have was a couple of quid we could find in the back of the sofa, and we could use that. That'd be like £2, and you could go and buy, a house. It was 5% deposit for a house then, so we had a great time in the 90s.
It was a great time growing up.
Oh, it was great.
If you want to connect with that and feel that, then you've got to watch Patrick's show, 8 o'clock at the Gilded Balloon. And also, I've got to just highlight the fact that you're doing a kids show as well, pub quiz for kids at Gilded at 12 o'clock.
Pub quiz for kids every day at 12 o'clock, and it's great. That's for all families, and please come if you want to come. Bring your kids. First prize is a house in Fife. Listen, I'm glad you're laughing because a lot of people believe us.
I was believing you there.
I know you won't believe it. No,
I'm taking that as the highlight for the trailer for your show. Win a show in Fife, courtesy of Patrick.
Win a house in Fife. The budget for this Comedy Kids pub quiz for kids show is £2.8 million. That is the budget. We're giving away a £300,000 house every day. Wow. That's all.
Patrick, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me again. Lovely to see you again.
Oh, my favourite live wire.